I'm sure all of you have been waiting patiently, but you cannot rush royalty. Today, we finally combine this incarnation of the G1 Predacons. If you recall our last Combiner review, you'll remember that they were made up of 4 Deluxes and a single Voyager. But oh, this Power of the Prime set from 2018 is made up entirely of Voyagers, so expect something a bit more titanic. Our first step is to remove the weapons as well as Dive Bomb's wings. Once everything is prepped, we can begin combination in earnest. Despite the simplicity of their primary transformation, this take on combining is far more complicated, especially in comparison to the Combiner Wars Scramble City style we saw last time. This is decidedly not Leo Kaiser. The simplest parts are maybe the legs, but perhaps that is by design, so as to give the combined form a more stable base. Either way, this is where we see just what exactly that large piece of kibble is on Torox and Headstrong. And yes, like before, these two transform almost identically to one another. But once we are past that, we get to Razorclaw. The leader and torso of this team has a far more complicated process to go through. One that sees almost every part get locked into position, making for an incredibly stable core, once again showing his superiority over his underlings. The final piece of the puzzle is Dive Bomb's wings. These actually help form the lower torso and waist, providing a secure place for Razorclaw to attach, as well as his imposing legs. Dive Bomb and Rampage attach by sliding onto Razorclaw, bringing with him the entire shoulder assembly. And then the last few steps are just a matter of cleanup and attaching his various accessories. The end result is the fearsome, fighting Predaking. Standing somewhere around 18 inches or around 46 centimeters, he is truly deserving of his Titan class designation. That being said, he is shorter than many of the others that share that naming. But, taken on his own, he is very impressive and can barely fit on my set. Articulation is brought about almost entirely with heavy ratchets, which is good, as the sheer size and weight of these limbs would most likely overpower any other kind of jointing. He does have almost full movement in his shoulders, but the size of the figure makes it awkward to show off on video. It should be noted that his elbows are somewhat limited, but still provide enough motion to be natural. The hands remarkably feature full rotation and can even open and close. This last part is somewhat surprising as it has no accessories to hold, not even a sword. Moving downward, we have full waist rotation and ratcheting universal hips. Perhaps this makes up for the large kibble pieces seen on Torox and Headstrong. We also have a 90-degree bend at the knee and even ankle tilts. It truly feels that all the weaknesses we saw on the individual members were in service of creating the greater strengths for Predaking as a whole. Really, the only things I do not like are the size of his wings and the lack of additional accessories. Combine that with the abundance of poor stickers. There are some negatives to this version of the Gestalt known as Predaking. But I believe everything else makes up for these failings. He is large and in charge, and I don't think this king will want anyone else to forget that.